We cleaned out Graham's cage yesterday, and guess who is unimpressed with how clean her house now smells? And she's thrown her toys out the pram and decided to sleep downstairs. Meanwhile, Laura is on her way home, and that means I have got to start doing some cooking. But I'm also having a problem with well, not a problem, I guess, that's a strong word, I think. But I'm having a little bit of a predicament where I want to be able to do something with the mocking framework that I'm currently using, but annoyingly, it doesn't seem to let you. When I want to tell it to return multiple different things, it accepts a single one as its first result, and then an array of the other results that it will happily return. Why can't I pass in an enumerable of the things I want to return? I had a bit of an accident as well with the rice last time, which means it's now in a fucking bag. In the bag of shame, ladies and gentlemen, the bag of shame. I was literally just trying to hack my way into this thing to try and like add one thing in its own variable, then create an array and then cycle through the array, but also the thing I've got back is actually a list, and I'm hacking into it and I'm like, this is stupid. So I'm gonna have a look through their code base, figure out if there is already a way to do this, which I think there might be, using a static returns object instead. If that exists, then I'll use that. Otherwise, I think I might just slap in a pull request and just like do a bit of an extension on top of it. Or I can keep it myself, I don't know. But why? Why does this not already exist? I don't understand. I was making significant amount of progress at work in the sense that I am able to I've nearly finished a service that I'm currently working on. What I'm currently doing is basically reinventing system.link and rewriting this thing where in C# it's like one line and in Java 7 it's not. In Java 8 it is, but in Java 7 it isn't. And I'm basically storing like a hash map of functions which can be dynamically called based on whether or not you want a certain piece of information out of this object or another piece. Basically I'm doing a select query where you cycle straight through the hey mister, why are you so feisty? A select query so that you can have a list of an object and you want to be able to pull out any single one of the parameters. Problem is you might want to pull out one of 10 parameters, and I want to be able to do that in a nice simple way. So I'm creating a hash map where you can basically, where you're already requesting like an enum for the parameter. You request the enum and it goes, okay, into the hash map, figures out the function it needs, and then it uses the collections or an iterable, fluent iterable interface in order to transform the list into a different list. Although it doesn't transform the list, it creates a new list. One thing that I'm not making progress with, however, is figuring out how to tell my friends that I'm quitting. So obviously, this time last week I handed in my notice, and today I was planning on telling them that I was leaving, basically because they don't need to know, but I don't want to just disappear. And I was going to do it when I gave them out like my birthday cookies. I made cookies for my birthday. Took them in. I could only take in a couple though because I made golf ball sized cookies and they were like fucking tennis balls. So they were huge cookies, so I didn't actually make enough for like the whole office. I ended up making a couple of big ones. So I dished them out around my friends. I'm just like trying to bring up the conversation of the fact that I've had my notice in and I've only got like 12 more days left as well because I've booked holiday. Lol. But it's quite difficult. I feel like they're going to take it personal. And it's genuinely not personal. Also, looking into the logistics of potentially swapping cameras for my daily vlogs now that they're changing structure a little bit. You may have noticed today's has been a little bit weird, and a little bit different in the sense of how I'm managing this. And I'm trying a different structure for these videos, and that structure may better suit the other camera, which is easier to control and it's got more settings and I can see myself. Potentially, I don't know, because I feel like this camera is very wide. Too wide, I think, for some of the shots that I now want to try and achieve. I'm partially replicating another style of video that I like watching, and I'm trying to do that here. So I'm no longer introducing the start of the day, I'm no longer going to close the video, I'm just going to do stuff, and I'm going to edit it out. I may even set up a tripod with my other camera on, and then just kind of talk to that at times. So that I don't have to think about, I don't know whether or not I'm going to start losing footage. I don't know if that's a bit too crazy for now, so I'm going to try and stick to one camera. Slightest bit of rain, you know. She wants nothing to do with me, she's running straight for dry land. I love finding deals in Asda because then it justifies me checking every single Monday. Like the past 3 weeks they haven't had this. And now they do. What are you doing? What kind of ice cream do you want, Bubba?
I don't know, I'm thinking many days ahead of time.
Oh. Also, guys, Jamie top tip: don't bother buying shit foil. Get the extra strong shit. There we go, boys. I promise you, you will never, ever go back. Ladies and gentlemen, the hustle has been real. I have looked into whether or not it's possible to add on this extension method to allow enumerables. I've briefly looked into if it is possible while I have a workaround on my own project. It looks like because it needs to know what type it is it's supposed to return, what happens if you want to return just an enumerable of this type? You've fucked yourself, really. There's a chance it would work, but I didn't spend an awful amount of time on it because I was forging ahead getting the threads across the entire project, so it goes off to the compiler, goes off and runs the tests, and it's all nice and grand. So that should be running by the end of tomorrow, and hopefully I'll be able to work on some asynchronously running all of the threads as soon as possible, so I can like asynchronously manage it using asynchronous methods rather than a thread pool. Like I say, hustling hard today, grafting away, done 3 hours worth of programming, because tomorrow we are going to go and get our faces handed to us at the pub quiz. Do you want to come out, Graham? Oh, you're getting all misty because of my tea. Oh, hello. Graham. It's so cold, ladies and gentlemen. You know the worst part about getting ready in the morning? It's that bit when you're in your nice warm dressing gown and your nice warm pyjamas, and then you have to take it off in order to spray deodorant on you, which is already cold, and then put on a shirt, which is cold, and then you can put your jumper on and then you're okay again. At least it isn't frozen over this morning, boys. To be honest with you, having such an easy commute is going to be probably the thing I'll miss most about this current workplace. Getting to my new job is going to be, it's going to take a lot longer, but it's going to be worth it. It's going to be worth. Hashtag worth. Yeah, I'm going to be trading this in for either a bike and/or a car and a bus. But to be honest with you, I'm kind of looking forward to the bus and the bike, to be honest, because I reckon I can cycle there faster than I can drive and bus there. But I'm looking forward to the bus because that was when I used to get like my most creative writing done, even though it's only a short leg on the bus. But my favourite thing about busing to my old work was the fact that I was able to actually get like creative writing and write some blogs and things like that. Hopefully going on the bus will bring back the main channel or my blog or my website, who knows. Not only did I not have a camera battery today, I also did not have any hand moisturiser, and it looks like I've been punching people. I've just been bleeding all day. Why does this happen to me? I left my moisturiser somewhere. That's my new moisturiser. Graham, why do you do this to me? There it is. Give myself about 10 minutes to rub moisturiser into my hands and then back onto programming. We're hustling today. Officially got my first results back from running through a couple of mutations. The one thing, two things. Firstly, I'm not running through all of them. I literally just randomly selected one and ran it. So I generated all of them and then just ran one because I need to figure out the threading issue. And also, I think I don't know whether or not I'm happy with the way that my results are coming out, because I'm kind of generating all of the possible things that I can do to a single file and storing that under one mutation. And I don't know whether that's going to be a bit verbose. Because then, one mutator, I've got loads of mutators, gets fed each file, and then when it's given a file, it will generate the possible mutations it can do, and that becomes a thing that can be tested. So you can just chuck in this object into the thing, and it will test all of the different possible mutations of that file that mutator can do. I don't know whether or not that's going to be a bit too off. I don't know whether to split it out a little bit more so that... but then I've basically just got a million... Because at the moment I have 62 possible mutations, and within one of them there may be 12 mutants. Maybe, I don't know whether that's... But then you would want it like on a per file basis. I will do for now. I was just about to raise a task on Asana to say like, come back and have a look at this, but I think it makes sense like that actually. Because then each file gets picked up, each file, so that one file may appear in the results twice, because two different mutators picked it up. and then each singular one has like 12 underneath it, or maybe more if it's a bigger file. We'll see. Either way, proof of concept, it works. Ladies and gentlemen, happy days. Now all I need to do is figure out how to do it in a multi-threaded fashion. We now have done 1 hour and 26 minutes just there, which means my total programming time today is already nearly 2 hours, and we haven't even had dinner yet. Chips are in. Laura is on her way back now. She's running a little bit late. I am running a little bit late putting the pizza in as well, so if you don't mind me, I'm going to do things while I do this at the same time. Today, I finally managed to tell my friends that I'm not going to be working where they're working forever, which is sad, and I feel like I've hurt their feelings somewhat. I think they all understand to a certain extent, but like probably the person I'm closest with, the person I have the most banter with, and all that kind of stuff, he understands. He seems to take it a little bit personal, bless him. But I explained that like I gave like a couple of my reasons and stuff. Obviously, there's limited what I can say at tea break. Because it might sound like I'm trying to make them leave as well, which I don't want. Well, no, they are more than welcome to leave. In fact, I would possibly... Shut up, Jim. You know what I mean? Yeah, so I finally managed to tell them that. Otherwise, as well, the other thing I'm working on at work, this thing that's only supposed to take 5 days, I'm now like on my 3rd week of it, finished it, got right to the end, and they're like, oh yeah, you got to do the front end thing. Look at the fucking controller that I've got to make, like kind of half copy, because this, like... I'm restructuring it all, but there is currently a service that talks to a third party, and I'm making one that talks to a different third party, and instead of having a generic way of talking to both, which we do have right on the back end, we still have custom front ends for both. Who knows? And I've looked at that thing, and it's going to be a meaty piece of work, so I'm hopefully going to be working on that for the next hopefully I'll be able to finish it in the next 2 days, because I'm off Friday, and it kind of needs to be done by Friday, so... Oh, boys! Fan is kicking up. Right, okay, so what does that mean? We're now then moving into the process itself, generating 62 possible mutations across all the files. We're going to generate, I'm doing it now on 10 threads, so it's kicking up my computer a little bit. But I just want to make sure my threading works. I'm staying up later than I normally do as well to test it. Here we go, boys. The processor is going to kick up. Here we go. Wait for the fans. We're at 100% processor. We're running on 10 threads, all at the same time, on one machine. Let's see if the threading works. I think it will. Fans are kicking in. People always like levy the fact that fans kick up on laptops and call that a bad thing. It doesn't bother me. I get it, like, if it's, like, just spinning its fans and being loud for no good reason. But, I mean, if you're actually working the computer and it kicks its fans up, like... And, you know? 3rd thread finished first. So, what are you doing, mate? Oh, it's running. It's struggling because I'm now trying to step over the top while all the threads are running in the background. So now if I run this again, come on mate, step over. Spins up the 3rd thread again with the next thing to test. Oh yeah, and now if I hit play, inevitably the next thread will finish relatively quickly, and that is... Which thread has just finished, boys? Oh god, computer, man. Thread 0, ladies and gentlemen. It works. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's past and it's bedtime. I got it working, it's all good. Past midnight as well. We went to the pub quiz, it was great, jolly good fun as normal, Beth and Ben. Absolute baller to catch up with, haven't seen them since like New Year. Unfortunately, we got, last time we went to this pub quiz at Christmas, we got 35 out of however many, 70 I think. Probably, something like that. Yeah, 70. And we came stone dead last. And second to last got 46 or 47. And the guy didn't have his glasses on and misread our number and /or added 10 to it in order to make us feel better. This time, we got 35 and a half. And the next closest person got 46. and the guy added 10 to us. Did it make us feel bad? We told him though about how last time he added 10 and we were like, if that happens again mate, give us a cheeky 10. Man, that pub quiz is fucking hard, it's gotta be said. It's really, really hard. Otherwise though, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna wrap up this video. I hope you liked this video. Let me know if you liked it. Even if you could even see if it was ever so slightly different or whatever, just let me know. Feedback on this video, much appreciated. Either by, I don't know, fucking likes, comments preferably. But yeah, if you got this far, cheeky like. I'm not going to do that all the time, but this is the kind of structure that I think I like. I'm going to edit it and render it up, put it up tomorrow, and I'm thinking once every 2 days. I think that might work. Or these 2 days were a fluke, and then tomorrow will be a 3-day. Who knows? Right, so I just want to talk about what I've got doing as well. Basically, I've now got my project kind of to where it was last time. I've kind of like severed an entire arm because now the entire thing returns. Oh no, I've got to actually populate. I'm getting the results out, but I'm not putting them on the object that's then returned out because that object is just an empty object at the moment. Yeah, so I'm now able to run in multiple threads the tests across all of the different possible mutations. It runs asynchronously, it chugs my laptop, it's got to be said. This is now the point where Atlas will start coming in. Atlas is a bit chunkier processor, it's a bit more of a tank, it's a bit faster. So Atlas will now start outperforming my laptop at this. So basically, here's what's gone on. Previously, I managed all of this in thread pools, and I basically had generated a pool of threads, and I would go through and go, okay, right, this run on that thread, 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 etc. And then once I'd run them all, I would sit on the main process, skipping, basically, waiting for a process to finish. As soon as it would finish, I'll go, right, bam, go to the next one, bam, go to the next one. Continually spinning, running up the processor. Now what I've done is I've managed to separate that all out, so my thread completely goes to sleep, run completely asynchronously, and it just stops when everything else is running. So basically my computer thread goes along and it goes, right, okay, cool, I've got all of these things, I've got 10 different things, and I'm just going to go bam, 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 runs all 10, slaps them into the running process, and then goes boom, shoots down. The process wait there. These asynchronous threads all then run. As soon as one comes back, well, my process is probably polling in the background, but these asynchronous threads are all being managed by the operating system. It's not being managed by me, so it hasn't got any stupid overhead that I've managed to fuck up. One comes back, I process the results, currently not doing that, I just then select the next mutation, slap the other thing onto it, run the thread, boom, set myself back to sleep. And I continue to do that until I've run out of mutations. I also need to write the bit where I finish listening to any that might still be running, because there's a chance that, well no, I'm going to end up ignoring them otherwise. That is so much better than previously, not only because my main thread isn't just spinning the processor, waiting and just continually like checking stuff in a while loop and then sending itself to sleep, it's all being done automatically by the processor. Because these things are being put asynchronously, when I move this now to the cloud, it's not going to be a case of moving a thread, it'll be a case of these things can be just generated. So let's say I'm on the cloud and I have 10 processes that I want to run, 10 different mutations that I want to run. I can, in theory, with a little bit of work, granted, spin up 10 different virtual machines, 10 different Docker builds, 10 different environments, run them all at once. If someone comes to me and says, hey, we want to do this thing, theoretically possible, theoretically, on my project right now, let's say the build takes about like 5 seconds, and running all the tests takes about 3. So let's say it takes about 10 seconds to do a build and run all the tests. Assuming that every single mutation builds and runs all the tests, every single one of them, that doesn't happen either, because some of them fail builds. I could, in theory, on the cloud, run an entire bulk test suite in the amount of time, in about, give or take, on average, a minute. 2 minutes at a push. That's pretty dope. That is crazy. Obviously that changes if your builds take longer, it changes how many generations you've got. The biggest factor is how many of these environments you can spin up, how much money you want to throw at it basically. You can now brute force an absolute bulk test in next to no time, assuming you've got a computer big enough to run it, which at the moment I don't. But yeah, I'm also working on ways, once I've got the platform like kind of steady, I'm working on ways so that you can do targeted, so you don't have to do bulk testing. But that is just like a proof of concept of like how much better this is compared to other ways of doing this kind of technique. And it is dope as fuck. That's enough details. I'd hate to end this relatively fun, in my opinion, videos with a bit of a ramble at the end, but I'm pretty excited about this. I'm going to struggle to go to sleep. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think. Please, please do. Tell me if you hate it. Tell me if you like it. Tell me if you can't even tell any different. Tell me if it's more enjoyable than my old daily vlogs. That's the aim. That's the aim. But yeah, tomorrow we're going to the gym, doing lots more programming. Happy days. Living the dream, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for watching this video. I'll catch you later.